Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Neptune's Child Tarot. Thank you guys all so much for being here, your continued love and support here on the channel. So today's pick a card reading, we are doing what is next on your spiritual path. So in these little piles, we have two oracle cards that I've already shuffled out, and then once we get into your reading, we'll be adding in the tarot to the message that comes through for you. So what is next on your spiritual path? If by chance you do feel drawn to more than one of the groups today, that is perfectly okay for today's topic. So for group number 1, we have this fuchsia dyed, I believe it's a quartz that has been dyed into this fuchsia color. Okay, so that is this little fuchsia. We're just going to call it the fuchsia quartz. So that is going to be for group 1. And then for group 2, we have this Aqua Obsidian, which is actually a man-made crystal. So this little Aqua Obsidian. And then group 3, you are going to be this Opalite. So what is next on your spiritual path? Pause the video if you need a little bit more time to meditate on the crystals, whichever group you feel is drawing you in the most. Group 1, group 2, group 3. Timestamps will be down below, and I will see you all at your reading. Hi, group 1. So those of you that resonated with this little fuchsia dyed quartz, this is going to be your reading today. So we are finding out what is next on your spiritual path. So let's see what is coming through. We have the Seraphim with Guardians, Awakener, and Purity. This card actually came through for the collective reading that I did this morning for channel members, which is very, very beautiful. We'll talk about that a little bit more. So group 1, Seraphim. And then we also have card number 9, Visionary. And it says confidence, passion, and self-worth. Okay, so I'm going to, I know some of you that are tuning into this reading right now might be channel members, but I'm going to read this again for this reading here, just in case those of you that are not going to be seeing that message for channel members. So we're going to start off with this, which is all the way at the back. Some of you might already be familiar with the Seraphim. Okay, so it says, there are angels among us. Angels exist in many spiritual traditions and are often considered to be benevolent spirits or messengers of the Godhead and protectors of life. Other examples of angelic beings include devas and bodhisattvas, one who has delayed reaching nirvana to assist in the awakening of all mankind. It is a common belief that we each have a guardian angel that guides and protects us, and that we can call upon the archangels for assistance in different aspects of our lives. I call in my angels when in ceremony or meditation, as I am profoundly grateful for their presence and I want them to feel appreciated and loved. It is said that the Seraphim are the highest vibrational entities of all of the angelic realm, and that they exist nearest the creator of life. They are fiery beings of light that have many wings and eyes. Some believe that seraphim are infinitely consumed by the exquisite fire of divine love, keeping them closest to God, Goddess. They have the ability to remove sin from the soul and are protectors and purifiers. When this card comes up for you, it is a sign that you are being touched by the pure transcendent energy of Source. It is a sign that you are divinely protected, that you are honored, seen, and supremely cherished. The energy of the seraphim is extremely pure, and to be aligned to this energy is a confirmation that you are a blessing to all you encounter. The contemplation says, open your energy to the highest frequency of light, breathing it in and allowing it to fill your aura, to fill every molecule of your body with the magnificence that you are. Okay, so while we're asking here the question, what is next on your spiritual path? I do feel that this could be Spirit encouraging you to connect in, and this could be through a meditation that you do for yourself, that you set the intention or call upon the seraphim, for those of you that are open to it, to call upon them to surround you and to allow yourself, like this is explaining, to connect in. Maybe this is about holding the vision. Maybe, as I was encouraging the channel members for their reading today, perhaps studying a little bit more, doing a little bit of research, studying the seraphim could be something that gives you maybe a little bit more information, so that you can work with them, especially if you haven't yet. When I brought that card out for the channel members, there was something about the name. Like I had heard the name before, but I didn't really know about them. Okay. So I definitely feel like that's something for myself too, that I am going to do a little bit more research about those angelic beings. But I feel that this coming through in your group today is the way that Spirit is kind of encouraging you to allow yourself to tune into that higher frequency of energy. Okay, so this could be where you're at, right? Because we're asking what's next on your spiritual path. Is you allowing yourself to be open to receiving and to attuning your energy, your vibration to that frequency of energy. Okay, so let's pull some tarot here and see. Visionary, confidence, passion, and self-worth. So maybe some of you, this is, continuing to work on building up your confidence, your self-esteem, your self-worth. Let's see. Oops. I'm going to take those. So we've got Justice here. The King of Wands. Let's see if I can fit another one up here. Justice, the King of Wands, and the Five of Cups. What is the message for group number 1? What is next on their spiritual path? The Tower. Wow, the King of Earth. So the King of Pentacles. We have Judgment. Wow. The King of Wands and the King of Pentacles. We have the Two of Pentacles. We have the Six of Pentacles. I'm going to move this down. And then we have the Strength card. Yeah, so the Strength card here is connected into the solar plexus. It's Leo energy, which is about your confidence. I'm also noticing there's a beautiful lion here. And then we also have the King of Wands. I love and I can truly appreciate the two kings that are here, because the King of Pentacles is the master of the material realm, okay? The pentacles have to do with earth energy, which is all of our material possessions, right, that we have. It's about money and, you know, our career, all of our earthly possessions. So we have the mastery here of the material realm. And then we also have the King of Wands. And the King of Wands, with the suit of the wands, it has to do with passion, creativity, and spiritual energy. Okay, so it's mastery of that energy. So we've got the mastery of the spiritual energy and then the mastery here of the material realm. So there is that beautiful balance here. Okay, being that we have the Two of Pentacles here, the Two of Pentacles, and of course I'm not using a traditional Rider-Waite tarot deck today, but in the Rider-Waite deck, for those of you that are familiar, or even those of you that are not, there is a person on the card here, and the person is looks like they're juggling two pentacles, and so that Two of Pentacles is about balance. Okay, it could be about balance. It could also be about change. I feel like in this case, there is a balance here between the spiritual and the physical realm. The Justice card is also here, which is also about balance, karmic balance. And so I'm noticing that we do have the Five of Cups energy here. And the Five of Cups can be quite a very dense, not so much dense, I want to say heavy, emotionally heavy energy. And the Five of Cups is about grief. It's about loss. It could be sometimes when we are feeling a little bit down, depressed, discouraged, disappointed. We may even be having feelings of guilt or regret or remorse. Really, really heavy. And so I feel that when we're asking here the question, what is next on your spiritual path, that you may be experiencing some difficult emotions that could be coming up for you in terms of things that you have experienced in your past. Now, this could be, of course, any area of your life, any stage of your life. It could be stuff that's coming up from childhood, teenage years, your adult life, having to do with, you know, other people. These could be feelings that you hold with inside of yourself about personal things that you've got going on, that may be just a little difficult to process. And so I feel that what is next for you on your spiritual path is your ability to be able to, even when those difficult things and emotions come up, is your ability to work through them, to honor them, to observe them, to be able to kind of maintain your balance in your energy field spiritually, as well as what you're learning to do within the material realm as well. Okay, because when we are on a path, we are all on a spiritual journey. Let's just start off with that. We're all on a spiritual journey, regardless if we are consciously aware of it or not. Some of you have gone through spiritual awakenings. And I'm seeing both the Tower here and the Judgment card, which can both be about awakening. And Judgment is really about releasing. It's about releasing, letting go. It's the death and the rebirth cycle. It's about renewal. It's about being able to wipe the slate clean, start fresh, start new, without holding on to all of the energetic baggage, if you will, from our past. This gives us a chance to look back on the past. And again, there could be some difficult things that come up for you emotionally. And I feel like you're learning here with what's next on your spiritual path for you is really learning how to master everything, right, that does come with living during this incarnation on Earth, to be able to deal with that, right? Because of course the source of that Five of Cups can come from many different areas of our life, right, that we're experiencing in the material realm as it relates to our career, our finances, our relationships with others, family, friends, romantic partners, our health, different things of that nature. So we're learning to master the material realm, but also mastering our own energy, our spiritual energy, our passions, our creativity. The Leo energy here is also about confidence, okay? The Strength card in particular is about courage, confidence, bravery, overcoming our fears. It's about having self-control. It is about being calm, right? And that is the mastery of our energy. Okay? We're not ignoring, we're not suppressing the feelings. We are honoring them as they come up, but we're continuing to kind of maintain that balance. So you're learning, what's next on your spiritual path is you learning how to maintain your balance between your spiritual, right, self, 5D consciousness, your highest version of yourself, but to also maintain a sense of groundedness, stability, security that you also feel for yourself while navigating the material realm. So you're learning how to integrate both of these energies. The Two of Pentacles here, I'm seeing this as the balance here of learning how to master both. Okay, sometimes, right, before we go through our spiritual awakening, we are very 3D consciousness. We are very much tuned into, more of a thinking of separateness from other people and not really feeling that interconnectedness with others. So we're thinking from terms of the ego, right? Which the Strength card does talk a lot about the ego and being able to not let the ego control us, but more of us to tune into the higher mind, higher consciousness. And so the Judgment card here, and I'm noticing how there's this beautiful butterfly that has emerged out of its cocoon here. And it hasn't even yet opened its wings, but to me this says a lot about the transformation that is taking place within you, this rebirth process. The Tower energy is also about awakening, transformation, change that is most certainly happening. This can be about having epiphanies, realizations. It is the breakdown of false realities, and this can happen in many different areas of our life. Sometimes we might, suddenly wake up one day, because the Tower energy can come in very abruptly. It can happen very sudden, where we feel aligned, say, with like a certain career path one day, and then the next day we feel like, no, this is not aligned. So we might be caught up in some kind of an illusion that a relationship is aligned for us, and then the next day we're feeling not aligned. Same thing with the career, or even certain belief systems that we might have. that are tied into 3D consciousness, 3D perspectives, limiting beliefs. And so I feel like you're learning how to master, like I said, learning how to master both realms, how to not neglect your spiritual part of yourself, but to also maintain presence. And sometimes I know, I think I've only had a few experiences where I've seen certain people who have gone through awakenings where they've completely lost touch with reality, where they've been so focused on the spiritual that they neglect their earthly life. And there is a need for us to kind of have the balance between both, right? So that we're not neglecting, family, it's and kind of working so much on the spiritual self that we neglect the things that we are doing here in, the physical 3D world. We're here during this incarnation. Yes, we can access higher, consciousness, but we also have to remember we are on Earth, okay? We are on Earth. So we have to learn how to find the beautiful, healthy balance between both of those realms, both of those energies. And so I feel like this is a time of you kind of looking within yourself. This is Spirit bringing up your confidence, okay? Your confidence in yourself, self-worth, okay? Which could be another thing here. Some of you, this could be about receiving. The Six of Pentacles is here. The Six of Pentacles, or the sixes in general, are also about balance. They're about harmony. The sixes are connected to the Lover's card. And the Lover's card it's a choice card, but it is another card that's about balance. Okay, so Six of Pentacles being the Pentacles energy, more physical earth energy. This is about you receiving. Okay, so if we can learn how to master the material realm, but also the spiritual energy and feel confident. The King of Wands is also a leader. Okay, it is about paving a new path for ourselves. It is about leading others by inspiring. It is about us holding a higher vibrational energy, being confident in ourselves, believing in ourselves, which for many of you, this is going to be helping us to deep dive into the self where we might feel that we're not worthy of success. Being that we do have the King of Pentacles is about manifestation. It's about abundance and prosperity and stability and security. And so this could be you, through working on your confidence and your self-worth, to know that you are worthy, right, of success. You are worthy of what you dream about, your goals, your things that you want to accomplish within this lifetime, that you do hold the power within yourself to be able to create, to be able to manifest. And so this could also be having the courage to go after those goals, those dreams, and to not allow yourself to get stuck in the mindset of, all hope is lost, maybe because of old versions of yourself that wasn't able to, get certain things done or reach certain milestones with that. We also have Justice here. Now, Justice is also about making choices and choosing what is for our highest good. So certainly with the Judgment card here, this is about looking to our past. And the reason that we want to look to the past is because we can see how far we've come. But it's also important to look at the experiences that we've had so that we can learn from them, so that we don't repeat the same mistakes moving forward. We can then integrate what we've learned from the past and make better choices for ourselves moving forward, especially as that relates to, what we allow ourselves to receive. And of course, the receiving could be in many different areas, not just with money and abundance, but it could also be with love. It could also be with, success that we want to bring into our life. So I feel like this is a process of you kind of taking a look at maybe even former versions of yourself and having the confidence to move forward with the wisdom and the knowledge that you do have. The seraphim, a lot of this is talking about that purification of your energy. And I feel like that's also a process is taking place here, is you working on purifying. And that is working towards releasing those parts of yourself that are inauthentic, that are not who you truly are on a soul level, and about shedding away those old layers, bringing yourself into that state of balance to receive, which I feel like is such a beautiful energy here. I think I want to read that. Where did I put the box at? Let's see what this is. This is the Earth and Bone Oracle. And this is number 9, which is Hermit energy. So this could be self-reflection. The Hermit is about deep introspection. It's, the Hermit is also a very wise energy. Lots of wisdom, lots of knowledge. It is about connecting to your inner light. It is continuing to deep dive into the self, exploring, discovery. Maybe for some of you, it's discovering what your passions are. Okay. So we have consider the past and carefully acknowledge and identify what you've learned. Exactly. It says, forgive yourself now. Accept yourself as you are. Your enthusiasm is limitless, and it is accompanied by a generous spirit and a desire to succeed. People who don't understand you may mistake your dedication. People who don't understand you may mistake your dedication and focus for vanity or even bossiness, but take comfort in knowing that you care profoundly and are unwaveringly devoted to those who give love. Don't get upset by prior mistakes. Don't point the finger at others. When life gets tough, be there for yourself. Make yourself at ease. Compliment yourself. Consider connecting with individuals who support you. Knowing you're not alone brings a sense of belonging and worth. You're working so hard to uncover your calling, that glimmer of inspiration that will give your life meaning and make you want to live. You're on the lookout for experiences that will make you feel alive. A piece of advice: don't try so hard. Stop looking for that one thing that will make your life better right away. Realize your spirit guides have already been working to improve your situation. Let go of the reins and just be. All the solutions will be given once you start just enjoying the things you appreciate in life. Finding that missing piece or key to unlock fulfillment does not make a life abundant. When life is appreciated, it is at its best. So get started doing what you like. It's that simple. Simply concentrate on what you enjoy doing. The affirmation says, I am supported by the universe. I trust my inner guidance. Okay, so what else did I want to say with that? Yeah, like I said, to me, the 9 energy is the Hermit, looking within the self, exploring, discovering. Like I said, for some of you, you might not know what your passions are. Some of you might not have yet figured out what your purpose is. And so we're needing to not look outside of the self. We're needing to look within, because those are where the answers are. Okay. That is through that process of self-discovery and connecting to your soul gifts, to your hidden talents, you know, maybe even experiences that you're carrying over from previous lifetimes, certain things that you might feel drawn to, that you might feel divinely inspired by. I feel like this is encouraging you to have the confidence again to overcome your fears with pursuing whatever those passions are. Okay? And really into awakening into the best version of yourself. And again, maintaining that balance here, of learning to master the material realm, right? Which is certainly feeling abundant and worthy of abundance, worthy of, you know, having people in your life that are supportive, that help to, you know, that are dependable, that are, you know, secure and stable within themselves, but can also provide that support that you need to help you feel secure in that relationship or that friendship. Can help you to feel more secure and confident in your career, in your job, or even to committing yourself to taking better care of you. Maybe for some of you, it's taking better care of your health and the physical body. You know, and the Wands energy with the King there has a lot to do with your creativity. Okay, and about you not feeling that you have to do right in life what everyone else is doing, but for you to feel brave enough to pursue what you want and what you desire, and knowing that you are being supported. So again, going back to the seraphim, this is you connecting to that higher vibrational energy, right? Allowing that to kind of fill your auric field, to know that you are perfectly capable, right, of being able to manifest your dream life. But it also does require us to take action, which the King of Wands is a very action-oriented energy. And so this can be you feeling confident enough to take the lead, right, and to not be afraid of opening yourself up to receive. Okay, whatever that might be that you're wanting to align with. So this is again shedding away the old layers of self, and transforming into this new energy. Okay, all right. So that is all that I have for you, Group 1. I do hope this is helpful for you guys, and I will see you in the next reading. Hi, Group 2. So those of you that resonated with the Aqua Obsidian, this is going to be a reading today. So we are asking Spirit, what is next on your spiritual path? So let's take a look at your two oracle cards. We have card number 7, Heart, and it says emotional awakening, intuition, and following your heart. And we have Limitless, and it says access to infinite potential. Okay, so let's pull the tarot. Let's see, for Group 2. What is next on your spiritual path, Group 2? We have the Wheel of Fortune. We have the Lovers. We have the Ace of Pentacles. What's next on your spiritual path, Group 2? Wow, the Ace of Cups. Wow, Magician, beautiful energy. The Star. Does it get any better than this? Wow. We have the Hermit. Look at all these major arcana. The Page of Wands. Let's try to squeeze in another one here. And then we have the Four of Pentacles. Okay, so I'm definitely feeling for you. This is going through a heart chakra awakening. This is really you tuning into your spiritual gifts, deeper into your intuition. Because I feel like with the Wheel of Fortune being here and the Lovers, I feel like in this case is representing making a choice, making a decision. And with the Wheel of Fortune being present, Wheel of Fortune is about change, and it's about aligning, helping the universe in a sense, helping you to align with your destiny, your destined path. And so by you tuning into your heart space and into your intuition, which I see kind of like as your inner compass, it's what is leading you and on your path moving forward. So when we can tune into the intuition as the guide, right? That this is going to be something that helps you to lead you towards fulfillment, towards wish fulfillment. You have the Star here. And so for those of you that chose this pile that could be feeling a little lost, maybe without purpose, without direction, this is going to be a need for you to connect in with your heart space more, into the feelings, into the emotions, into your intuition, okay? And we can do that through, with the Hermit energy being present, the Hermit is the journey inward. It can be a period of isolation, a period of spending time alone, you know? Now, I'm not saying that you have to, like, if you're in a relationship or you live with family or, you know, you have roommates and things like that, where you just have to kind of like escape from the entire world and go live in a cave. But this is you spending more time, even if it's just starting with 10 minutes a day, and you take time for yourself, take time out of your day for reflecting, for introspection, for getting to know yourself on a deeper level so that you can discover the potential that you do have within yourself. You have the Magician energy here, which the Magician is about manifestation. It's about you becoming a co-creator and understanding that you are a co-creator of your reality. Okay? Your life is shaped by your choices, right? The reality that you're experiencing is shaped by the choices that you have made. It's also having to do with your perspective, the beliefs that you have, the feelings, the thoughts, the ideas. Is your reality is your creation. Okay? So I feel like this is where the universe is wanting you to understand that if we don't like, right, if we don't like the reality that we are living in, if we feel unhappy, if we feel unfulfilled with the experiences that we could be having, that we can make different choices. There is the potential for you to change it, to change course, change direction. Let certain things go that you feel are no longer resonant for you. The Wheel of Fortune is about change. And it's about going through the cycles of life, the ups and downs. And this can certainly be a change in fortune in your favor, should we choose to really look deeply within the self to discover what your passions are, what your dreams are, what your goals are. This is the chance for a new beginning here, okay? For renewal, for feeling a sense of peace with inside the self, and being at peace with the reality that you live in, right? Understanding again that if we don't like it, we can change it, right? So the Four of Pentacles here could certainly be when we've perhaps reached a place of stagnancy. We feel stuck, or even we have issues surrounding security. We feel comfortable in the comfort zone, or we're afraid of change. Change is inevitable, okay, especially with the Wheel of Fortune. Change is inevitable. And the Wheel of Fortune is about going with the flow of where your heart and your intuition is kind of guiding and leading. You know, sometimes fears can get in the way, insecurities. You know, we're too afraid of taking that leap of faith. We're too afraid of making a change that we wish to see in our life, or we want things to kind of be, or to flow a little differently. So this gives you time to really do that inner work and to spend time in solitude, to deep dive into the self. It is a path of the journey inward, self-discovery. The Hermit is a very wise energy. So this is you connecting into that wisdom within the self through the past experiences that you've had, and an opportunity for you to create this new beginning here. The Ace of Cups is a beautiful energy, and I always see it as like this heart that is overflowing with love, with divine love, and you know, you connecting in with your own feelings, your own emotions. And I feel like in this case, because I'm seeing the Page of Wands energy here, the Page of Wands is about exploring. It's very similar to the energy of the Fool in the Major Arcana. The Page of Wands is feeling enthusiastic. It's about exploring, discovering, connecting into your inner child, connecting into your infinite creative potential that you have within yourself. The Magician energy being present is about you using the tools that you have within inside of yourself to create your dream reality. And certainly with the Lover's card, this is about making choices, making major life decisions. So again, if we want to change things, this is you understanding that you do have the power within yourself to change things in such a beautiful way, okay, towards what is fulfillment for you. So for some of you, this next step might include a lot of emotional release. Being that we also have the Star here, the Star is also about healing. And that is how we feel that sense of renewal and peace and calm within the self, because there's been a lot of purification within your energy. So this could be about letting emotions flow right through that emotional awakening, okay? Tuning into the heart center, allowing feelings, emotions, whatever they might be, to kind of flow out. Maybe that means having a good cry. Maybe that means sitting and reflecting on past experiences that still might be triggers for you, and allowing yourself to kind of work through them, okay? Sometimes when we do that, that can even be something that inspires creativity within us, because we can learn a lot from our emotions, understanding them. Like, why do I feel this way? Or why do I still feel this way? Or what is this that's coming up for me? And sometimes that can inspire us to, you know, express ourselves in a creative way, where we paint, or we draw, or we dance, or we sing, or we, you know, maybe want to write poetry, or we want to, you know, create something from that energy with what we're sitting with at that time. And so I feel like a lot of this is you also having the willpower within yourself to step outside of your comfort zone, and to flow with the change. Okay. And maybe this means making different choices in life, ones that are more aligned for you, or ones that even open you up as you tune into your heart space and into, because I also see the Ace of Cups here as unconditional love, right? The aces in the tarot represent the universe kind of coming in with a blessing or bringing something in. And so I feel like this is you attuning yourself to love within the self. Okay, so this might even be self-love for some of you, working on self-love. It can be even healing, like I said, old wounds, okay, from the past, healing, purification of your energy. For many of you, this is going to be aligning with your purpose, your destiny, okay, being that we do have the star here. So I would encourage you to spend some time in solitude. Maybe some of you might want to pick up journaling, okay, to kind of document what it is that's kind of coming up for you if you don't do that already. Music, spending more time outdoors, okay, really working towards grounding your energy, being present, right, in the here and now, being more observant of the feelings and emotions that are kind of moving through at this time. And then maybe diving a little bit deeper into them with that Hermit energy. The Ace of Pentacles being present can certainly be a new opportunity, right, for new beginnings, something tangible, creating something new. Of course, I feel for some of you, because I'm noticing we've got the 4 and the Ace here. Some of you with this change or this shift, there might even be wounds here that you could be working on healing surrounding scarcity, okay, lack mentality, because sometimes that is a belief system that can hold us back from pursuing a passion or a goal or a dream or a desire that we might have. So I feel that this could be you even working on exploring, why do I have this, issue with creating abundance, or, manifesting wealth, or even as it relates to love, for those of you that are, finding that the people that you connect with, or where you could be someone who's giving, but then also maybe not receiving what you're putting out. So this could be something helping you to heal that as well. Any type of scarcity or poverty consciousness that you're changing within yourself as well. Okay, so we do have Gemini energy here, Virgo, Aquarius, what else? Leo, Scorpio, Taurus, and then we have the fire sign energy here, Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. I do want to look at, I think I want to look at the Wheel of Fortune here for you. But many of you, I feel like this is going to be this path of self-discovery to help you to align with your purpose, to help you to align with your mission, especially for those of you that are feeling a little lost. Okay, with you connecting inward is going to help you to connect to your intuition, which is going to be your guide to lead you towards your destiny. Okay, so if we don't know what that is, right, if we don't know what our purpose is, or we don't know what, say, like our destined career path is, or things of that nature, then allowing yourself to explore, right, with inside of yourself about what you're passionate about, what makes you feel excited when you think about it, what lights you up inside, right? These are the things that Spirit is kind of wanting you to work towards attuning to, and also allowing yourself to try new things. Because sometimes we don't, if we have a life where we're on kind of like on autopilot, where we do the same thing day in, day out, and then we're asking, like, what is my purpose? I feel like I have no purpose. We won't know, right, if we like something or not, if we don't try new things, if we don't step outside of our comfort zone. Okay, because sometimes with the exploring, it can lead us to places, spaces, people to connect with that could inspire us, or that could share personal life stories in some way, or even sharing maybe what they do for a living, where that is something that, turns on a light bulb within you about something that you want to explore, and kind of delving into whatever that path might be. So let's look at this Wheel of Fortune here. We have Justice. And then we have the Queen of Cups and also the Sun. Beautiful energy again. We've got Libra and Leo. And then water sign energy here, Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. So again, we're talking about the heart here, and we've got the Queen of Cups, which is a very intuitive energy. I feel like certainly this is about you, going with the flow, especially since we have the Wheel of Fortune here. The Sun is Leo energy. And I feel like this is about you also being confident within yourself. The Justice card can also be about you making choices, maybe even different choices moving forward, okay? Especially if the past experiences that we've had have maybe not been so great, okay? We can learn from those past experiences, as we're working on the healing here, and then making better choices that are better served for our highest good, to help us to open up to receive what it is that we're truly meant to. All right, so what I want to do, I'm going to read a little bit about the heart here. Also, this is a number 7. The 7 is the Chariot. The Chariot is about making steady progress on your spiritual path. It's about having the willpower, the determination, the focus to continue to move forward and to be successful towards whatever this is that you are wanting to achieve. Okay, so number 7, and this is the Earth and Bone Oracle. Number 7. It says, your heart, instincts, and passions are the barometers to direct your actions, not your mind. By embodying this way of life, you are showing others that it is also safe for them to do so. There is a way to build a foundation and pursue your desires that allows for freedom. Living authentically, whether or not your choices and actions make sense to others, is an aspect of your soul's mission. The world that you create is your art form or piece of art. You live and thrive outside the confines of convention. You help set people free from a limited or mundane life by your example. You create a space for others to transform. You are destined to be a leader without even trying to be one, which is achieved simply by being yourself. You help to teach people not to use or wear social masks and to simply walk away from those who don't understand you. Family stability and ties may not have been strong in your life, and therefore you learn to develop a self-love that gives you the freedom to be nomadic if you choose, and not tied down to certain people or places. You know unconditional love is the source of truth, and wherever your heart speaks, you follow, regardless of how risky or unconventional the path appears to others. Your destiny is to live free and live your dreams, and that is the example you give to others. The affirmation is, I am listening to the voice within. I am supported by the universe. I deserve to thrive. Okay? So again, you connecting into your infinite potential, the best version of you is what Spirit is wanting your focus to be, of you aligning with that. And we can do that through the self-discovery, through allowing ourselves to trust in your own heart, your own intuition, and where you're being guided, where your passions are leading you. Okay? And certainly stepping outside of your comfort zone. Okay? We're not meant to stay stagnant, right? We're meant to continue to grow, to evolve, to change, to transform into the best version of ourselves. Otherwise, like I said, if we're on autopilot and we're not really changing, right? And we're feeling that sense of a lack of fulfillment or unhappiness in our life, this is again where Spirit is telling you here, you have the power to change it. Okay. All right. So I'm going to leave this here for you, group 2. I do hope this reading was helpful for you guys, and I will see you in the next one. Hello, group number 3. So those of you that resonated with the Opalite, this is going to be your reading today. So we're looking at what is next on your spiritual path. So let's take a look at your 2 oracle cards, and then we'll move into your tarot. So we have number 26, the key, inner calling, clarity, and intention. And then we have fierce, and it says stand in your power. Wow. Stand in your power. Okay, let's pull your tarot. What's next on your spiritual path, group number 3? We have the 6 of Wands. The 8 of Swords. Okay. We have the High Priestess. We have the World. The 5 of Cups. The King of Pentacles. The Ace of Pentacles. What is next on your spiritual path? Group 3, the 4 of Swords. And we have the Devil. Okay. Okay, so we do have Pisces, Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius. So next on your spiritual path, okay, so I'm noticing that we have the High Priestess here, which is your intuition. And we also have the Devil here, which is the ego. Also the shadow self. So, and I'm noticing that the 8 of Swords is also here too. And there's a bird that's inside of a cage here, right? Look at the keyword. I don't know if you guys can see it. It says restriction, powerless, and victim. Okay. Now the 8 of Swords is when we are keeping ourselves stuck in a mental prison of our own doing. meaning negative thinking, self-limiting beliefs, maybe self-sabotaging thoughts, a lot of what if this happens, what if that happens, what if this goes wrong, like just kind of like in that negative mindset, right, where we can't break ourselves out of that way of thinking or perceiving something. The devil energy is Capricorn energy. Capricorn is ruled by Saturn, and Saturn is a very dense and also very heavy, dense and heavy because it's earth energy. So our goal, right, when we're on our spiritual path is to release ourselves from the captivity of the unhealthy aspect of the ego, right? And here we literally have a bird in a cage. The devil energy is about emotional manipulation, control, possession. It can be about the ego's desires, which sometimes those ego's desires that we might have might not be the best for us. Okay? The devil is about overindulgence, right? Overdoing it. And that can lead to certain unhealthy or even toxic patterns of behaviors that we might have to people, to situations, to places. The devil can be about attachment, right? Attachment to certain things, especially since the devil is earth energy. This can be an attachment that we have to material possessions, power, control, right? Or even emotionally manipulating other people. It can even be bad habits such as obsessing, right? Which we can certainly see in that energy. So obsessing over something or someone. So putting us into more so functioning from the shadow self, right? The ego, the unhealthy aspect of the ego. So we've got to get all of that stuff out of the way, right? If we're going to continue to ascend on our spiritual path. So this work that is here, that Spirit is wanting you to focus on for what's next on your spiritual path, is not easy. However, it is very possible for you to overcome the negative thoughts, the self-limiting beliefs that keep you stuck or trapped in a place of fear. The devil is a very oppressive energy. Okay? It creates this illusion of this power that it has over us to control us or to lead us, like I said, sometimes into certain behaviors or, to affect certain choices that we make, or to, hold on to certain feelings and emotions that we have, attachments, or even unhealthy connections that we might have to certain people in our life, that we feel like, oh, I'm stuck with that person or that situation. I can't break free. I can't let go. I can't get out. I can't stop this. I can't stop that. Where it just kind of takes our power away, right? And so you have this fierce energy here about standing in your power, right? This energy takes that power away from who you truly are, right? That highest version of yourself. So the Four of Swords is here, which is about rest. It's about healing. It's about quieting the mind and the noise of the ego that sometimes is there. Paying more close attention to being more mindful of those negative thoughts, the fear-based thinking, right? Now, fear is a natural, right, emotion for us to have. When it becomes an issue is when we continue to live in that state, okay? When we're afraid to do this or we're afraid to do that. And that can certainly lead us to a cycle or this loop, right, that we get stuck in with having certain thoughts that lead us to making certain choices and affect the behaviors that we have, and then the feelings and the emotions that kind of come along with it, where we get just kind of stuck in that pattern. Okay, so in order for us to stand in our power and to really connect to who you're meant to become, where you're meant to journey to align with your purpose, align with your mission, and to continue to evolve on your spiritual path, we need to have an awareness of that, of the shadow, right? The shadow self, of the unhealthy aspects of the ego, and how it affects us, how it manipulates us, how it controls us, how it leads us into sometimes unfavorable circumstances. We have to have an awareness of that. Okay, so I feel like this is spirit kind of encouraging you to do some shadow work. Okay, to be more self-aware of when certain triggers kind of come up for you, and to take note of them and to really kind of dive deeper into the self to understand why we think the way that we think, why we act the way that we act, and how do we let certain people or situations or ways of thinking take that power away. Okay? Because I feel like this is you working through. Sometimes these attachments could be also to some very difficult emotions, right? We've got the Five of Cups here, which is about grief over loss. Now, this could be literally losing someone in our life. Maybe there's someone who's passed away, but it can also be experiencing the pain or the trauma that comes from dealing with breakups, from divorces, from a person who's disappointed you, or even when we've done something wrong and we feel guilty, we feel remorseful, we have regret, we feel discouraged, we feel disappointed, we feel hopeless, right? So this is about you working through those feelings, through those emotions, and honoring them, but also understanding that we don't have to allow these thoughts or these emotions to have power over you or to take that power away, especially as it relates to certain situations that you've experienced in your past. Okay? We have the Ace of Pentacles here, which is about a new beginning. Okay? So we're going to be focusing on that new beginning, but doing so feeling much more grounded and being able to work towards releasing ourselves from those things that hold us back, that take our power away. Okay, so with the High Priestess being present, this can certainly be about you connecting to your own intuition. And maybe there are or have been certain things that have been coming up for you that your intuition is trying to get your attention to heal or to release. Because we also have the World energy here, which has to do with a completion, right? So ending certain cycles of maybe even the ego captivity here, fear-based thinking, or certain heavy feelings and emotions that we are dealing with. So we want to kind of, in a way, clear out the clutter, okay? So that we can really tune into that higher version of ourselves, stand in our power. And I feel like for a lot of you, this is reclaiming your power, okay? Because then we can then connect into being more purposeful, being more intentional with what we're choosing to give our energy to mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, to be able to overcome those challenges. Okay, because the Six of Wands is here, which is about victory and success. Making the little baby steps and the milestones of you being able to overcome that. And then we have the King of Pentacles here, which is about stability, security. Now, sometimes, we don't know how to do certain things. Like, how can I heal my shadow? Or how can I integrate my shadow? So the King of Pentacles is also a very resourceful energy. Okay, so this may even be that you connect with someone who could provide support or advice or guidance or even resources for you to reach out to certain people to kind of help you through that process. Okay, I do want to read a little bit about this inner calling, but I feel like once you work through this, right? Once we get this kind of like out of the way, is when we can truly connect to the most authentic version of ourselves, right? Our higher mind, our higher consciousness, to start this new path, this new journey, being in your power, which is going to be very different, right, than maybe the path that you have been on. But to be that more empowered version of self, to feel more stable, to feel more secure, to making wise decisions, especially with what you feel your inner calling is. Now, this is a card from the Earth and Bone Oracle. So we're going to see number 26. It says, you may need to practice being present. Your messages of fulfillment are sent to you by spirit and found in the awareness of presence. You have an inner calling. Fulfilling your purpose is attained by the steps you take now. The destination is secondary and only achieved after you have completed your present steps. What action can you take now? Remember, if the means do not contribute to happiness, neither will the end. Your current state of consciousness determines whatever is manifested in the future. Inner alignment is the main objective of everyone. Being present allows you to attain inner alignment. Your goals, such as a career of life's work, will fall into place once you are aligned. Through experiencing mistakes in a trial and error environment, you can determine what your purpose is. A process of elimination determines your soul's path. Discovering what is not for you leads you to what you should be doing. Never allow fame or fortune to drive your actions. Purpose does not come from your mind, and it does not come from thought. It comes from being still and allowing universal energy to come through you. It is a feeling. That high priestess right there. When there is something new you want to learn, simply add it to a list of all the things you wish to learn and take actionable steps to learn it. If you truly love it and it comes easy to you, then you will naturally move into alignment and the universe will conspire to aid you. If not, then move on to the next thing. Just take the steps today that will propel you toward what you want to learn, see, do, or become, one step at a time. Be here now. And the affirmation says, I trust that the universe is supporting me. I accept that everything is working out the way that it should. Now, this feels like for you, group 3, that the universe is wanting you to, for what's next on your spiritual path, is to align with what your inner calling is. Okay? So of course, these can be a lot of limiting beliefs that we have, fear-based thinking, or maybe even that the things that we are being led towards could be under the control of the ego. Because sometimes the ego leads us right towards certain desires. And it's not to say that throughout our life that we should never, try or do certain things that the ego leads us towards. However, we want to live a life that is more purpose-driven in terms of your higher self, because that is ultimately going to lead you towards fulfillment, towards success. The devil energy has more to do with the material realm, materialism, with power, money, greed, again, overindulging, more this, more that. I want more clothes, more shoes, more money, right? It's more so the ego driven kind of thing. And sometimes those material possessions, it might appear, right? Because the devil is an illusion. It might appear that more money, more power, more material possessions are going to make us happy. And the truth is, it doesn't. Okay? It really doesn't. Certainly, money can be something that provides us the ability to, do certain things, right? But it shouldn't primarily be the focus, right? Because then that's more ego driven. And like I said, sometimes that happiness that we feel is going to be short lived because we're looking for the next thing that's going to give us that instant gratification, right? The next thing. Oh, if I buy this and I have that new, if I have that new pair of shoes, that's going to make me happy. And then, okay, that happiness wore off. How about this next thing, the next thing, the next thing, this, and it doesn't stop, right? So when we can live a life that is more purposeful, more intentional, okay, and have clarity on what your soul's desires really are, right? Living from the soul versus the ego, it's going to lead you to living a life that is more fulfilling for you. Okay. I've done a lot of readings for people over the years. People from all ranges of financial positions that they've been in, from people who didn't, have very much to people who are multimillionaires, okay, that have multiple businesses, that have what we would perceive as like, wow, that person has it all, but them feeling completely unfulfilled in life, telling me, oh, I have this business, this business, this business, this is my, the amount of money that I make, but I still don't feel happy. I don't feel fulfilled, right? And we think that more of, this or that is going to lead to happiness, but happiness is not found outside of the self. It's happiness is an emotion, and joy is something that's found within. Okay. But with that devil energy, it's where we're looking for it through material things. Okay. So yeah, I would certainly say this would be some shadow work. Working on those unhealthy aspects of the shadow, any attachments to certain people, situations, unhealthy or toxic behaviors that we might have, that this is where Spirit is kind of wanting you to focus, because then we can really get to work, right? Towards you aligning with your inner calling. Because even if we might have a feeling, right? Oh, this is what my calling is. And we're still kind of in that ego captivity type of place with the unhealthy aspect of the ego, or, certain shadow energies that are kind of overpowering us. That is putting us out of alignment, right? We have to be aware of the shadow and understand it and to integrate it into the light energies that we do have to find that balance. The shadow's never going to go away. It's a part of us, right? But we can learn to understand it better. We can learn to also heal and reintegrate and feel more whole. Feeling more whole. I feel like it's certainly something that Spirit is wanting you to do, is to learn to really work towards integrating that shadow and to feeling more balanced, and then to connect to that inner wisdom and knowledge that's going to help to lead you and guide you towards what your inner calling is. The other thing that I wanted to say is sometimes an inner calling that we feel might be very clear and very apparent to some people, but not everyone has that experience. Sometimes the way in which we find what our inner calling is by allowing ourselves to try new things. Again, like this was talking about, through the process of trial and error. We might feel drawn to a certain thing and say, oh, let me try this. This looks exciting. And then we're, learning about it or practicing it or doing it. And we're just like, no, this isn't it. And that's perfectly okay. You've allowed yourself to try and experience something new. And now we can shift that energy in a different direction. Okay. So allow yourself to do that. Give yourself permission to, to try those new things, or to become a different version of yourself, and to shed away those old layers. All right, so that is all that I have for you. Group 3, I do hope this was helpful for you guys, and I will see you in the next reading.